Hello and welcome to the Entrepreneur Experts Cafe, sponsored by Entrepreneurs Rocket Fuel. I'm Kimberly Crow, your host and the creator of the Facebook community Entrepreneurs Rocket Fuel, a community by entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs, helping entrepreneurs and experts get their businesses to the next level. Come join the community and the conversation at www.entrepreneursrocketfuel.com/Facebook. Today, I'm interviewing Judy Wong. Judy is the fountain of youth expert. Judy, welcome to the program.
Hey, good to see you, Kimberly. I always love being with you.
Good to see you as well. Hey, thanks for being here. We really appreciate it. Share with our audience how you became the fountain of youth expert.
Well, people keep asking me about my fountain of youth because no, I don't look my age. I am a senior. But the truth is, it's not about a fountain of youth. It's about a fountain of life. My clients who are just like me, yes, really me, women who are way over 60, and sometimes 70 and 80, who want to raise their fountain of life so that they can recapture that, exhilaration of their younger years and get back to their bubbly, optimistic self while making a living doing it. Nothing wrong with us making a living. Why should we live on limited income? The problem is they just don't know how to do it, The world is so busy telling all of us how to live our lives, about our death, and very few care to show them how to live their life for living. All they hear about is retirement, which is living your life for your death and not your life. Look, so I started this Raising Your Light of Life Reset Mission thing because it's the only program there that kind of unwraps and uncovers and unpacks your negative myths, labels, and baggage that's keeping your fountain of life from truly identifying and embarking on that amazing adventure we all still want to go out on. I don't know why everybody thinks because we're over 60 or 70, and yes, I am pushing 70, but that they think that it's the last hurrah. It ain't. We've got a whole lifetime to go. I don't know why people think that it's all over for us. To me, it's just beginning. I started my life at 60. I got my degrees in college in my late 50s as a single mother putting 3 kids through college.
Whoosh.
I got married. I was turning 60 when I got married again. And oh my God, I was so excited I was going to start a new life. And all of a sudden, anybody wanted to do was tell me about my death. What's my death plans? How am I living on my limited income? And what are my death wishes? I was like, what are you, crazy? I'm just starting out. Why are you telling me about my death? And then everybody says, but you don't look your age, so you must have that fountain of youth. This is no, baby. It's not a fountain of youth. It's a fountain of life.
Fountain of life. I love that. Judy, that's really, really powerful stuff. So what is your secret? Like, what was it that turned on that fountain of life for you at age 60 and started a whole new Judy Wong out there in the world?
Well, about 10 years earlier than that, and it's now way over 10 years, I was going through my latest and greatest divorce, and I was ready to cash it in. I thought, that's it. I'm done. I'm sick of this. I don't want to do this anymore. And then I realized I had 3 young men. They were teenagers. A couple were going off, about to go to college. And I realized the only people they had left was me. And so I couldn't cash it in just yet. And I was in my 50s, for crying out loud, because I had my kids pretty late in life. So I could keep lying about how old I was.
That might be part of that fountain of life is to have your kids later.
It is. But, I started tapping into, I got some spiritual mentors that started tapping into them and found out, lo and behold, that I was actually, there was a word for me. I was a clairsentient, which I didn't know there was a word for me. I did find out many years ago when I was in my 30s that my grandmother was actually a clairvoyant. I thought I was just this very sensitive person who always seemed to know things. And I always could key in when I meet people, where their sweet spot is, what it is that makes them shine and happy and glowing. And what I realized back then when I needed to find myself was that there's this light of life that we all come into the world with, and that this light of life was still in me. And I realized it's still in all of us, for Pete's sake. It's the one damn thing that's been keeping us alive all these bloody years, you know? And
well, I definitely agree with that. And I can see it in you. But I'm wondering how you made that transition. When did you go from like, I just don't want to do this anymore to the, no, this is just the first half. We got plenty to go still. And I've got a whole new myself to create. What was the trigger for you that led to that? Or what was the secret sauce?
well, the secret sauce was two things. One, I realized I started learning more about me as a spiritual healer. And two, as I started tapping into that light, I realized something that I had completely forgotten, which was a lot of things that I knew before those grown-up years that I thought was the only thing that defined me as my life. You know, sometimes we get to this point and we think everything that defines us is the last 20 years of our bloody life. But when you think about the big picture, and you don't have to be a great mathematician about this, but if you've lived 60 or 70 years, the last 20 years is nothing. So what happened to all those other years, you know? And that's when I found that light was there still. And I remembered something when I was young, something that happened, which has pretty much been the line of my whole life since, which I met somebody when I was 18 years old. And he was an older man. He was 55. I was trying to switch colleges. I was very smart. I was trying to switch colleges. My mother derailed that. And I ended up going to this acting academy in New York because I was stuck in New York and I couldn't, she ruined all my plans. So I'm in this academy and I'm thinking, my first scene partner is this guy who's 55. I'm thinking, oh my God, he's older than the hills. Because, you know, at 18, you think anything that old is old, right? And I remember I asked him, I said, Bill, what are you doing here? And he says, you know, Judy, I'm a retired cop. I'm a retired fireman. I'm a retired English teacher. He says, but I'm not done yet. I'm going to do everything I've ever wanted to do because I'm still living. And he says, I always thought it would be really cool to be an actor and a director. And so that's what he was doing. And
I love it.
We became lifelong friends. And his wife was the editor for Food and Wine magazine. And we became these lifelong friends. And yes, he went on to becoming a working actor and a director.
Wow, great story. Just sort of going back to what you really want to do, taking the fun back into your life and embracing who you really are instead of neglecting who you really are. Just like yours, the clairsentience came through. And once you embrace that, it sort of opened up that possibility.
Exactly. And that's what I do for people now. I just, I help them. I call it the cocoon because it reminds me of a cocoon, like a cocoon that a butterfly comes out of. We've spent, when you think about it, we spent 60, 70, 80 years wrapping ourselves in all these lies and these false labels and these stories that sometimes maybe it wasn't really always bad. Sometimes they were told to us when we were young because they were protecting us, or we told it to ourselves because we were protecting ourselves and going through a particular time of life, right? But the truth is, now we're where we are now. And most of that crap is crap. And it totally doesn't make sense in our life now. But I
love that. I love that you can call crap what it is, right? And absolutely just call it out. Well, Judy, if people want to work with you directly and maybe clear some of the crap out of their lives, how can they do that?
Well, I would suggest go to my website. It's Living Out Loud Ain't Over Yet. Now, that's really easy to remember. And even though I'm an English teacher too, no grammatical punctuation, just straight one word. Living Out Loud Ain't Over Yet.com. You go there.
I love it.
Always reach me. You could always find me. And you can learn more about some of the wonderful things I could do for you.
Well, clearly you are the fountain of life expert or the fountain of youth expert. Either one, I'd say you take the cake on that, Judy. So before we let you go, any final words for our crew?
Yes. Listen to the whispers of your soul.
Mm.
Knowledge is knowing you're older. Wisdom is knowing life ain't over yet.
Life ain't over yet?
Nope. Live your life like it's a work in progress, and you live your life out loud because it ain't over yet. It's not about a fountain of youth. It's about a fountain of life.
All right. Thanks so much, Judy,
for living.
Thanks so much for being here with us today. We definitely appreciate your insights for our audience. All right, folks, that was another episode of Entrepreneur Experts Cafe. I'm Kimberly Crow. Cheers.